Good afternoon, everybody. Now, in this lesson, we learn something about how a small business should make their marketing plan. Because whatever the greatness prevail for the products, if they do not market properly, there may not be any success for the product or the company. So here we can look at what is marketing is all about. So this chapter benefits or outcome. After studying this chapter, you should be able to describe small business marketing, discuss the nature of the marketing, define marketing statements, segmentation and its related strategies, explain the different methods of forecasting sales, and identify the components of formal marketing plan. These are the objectives. What is small business marketing? Marketing, this is activities directing the flow of goods and services from producer to consumer or user. That is how best we make the products flowing smoothly between the producer and the consumer or ultimate user or end user. Small business marketing consists of those business activities that relate directly to identifying a target market. So when we are producing a product, it may not be general for everybody. There may be some specific group of customers or target group of people who may be expected to use this product. For example, lipstick aiming at the females. So that way, who is your target market for your product? Identification is very important. Determining target market potential. So when you observe, if you take a lipstick as example, what is the market potential? How many people are able to use this product if you are launching a new product? Potential means possibilities of a future market size. Preparing, communicating and delivering a bundle of satisfaction to the target markets. So when you look at any product, it is not just a product used by somebody, and what is the satisfaction you are bundling with that. That means sometimes certain products may be used not just by as an absolute product, but sometimes it is out of the loyalty towards the product. So this is a very important aspect to be taken into consideration. So when you bundle a product with different benefits, how you are preparing, communicating and delivering a bundle of satisfaction, that is very important. Essential marketing activities. What are the essential marketing activities? Market analysis. So you need to analyze what kind of market you are looking for and you are in and you are launching a product for, which contain an evaluation process that encompasses market segmentation, market research, marketing research and sales forecasting. These three are very vital and very important aspects in the marketing. Market segmentation, entire market. You take for example 8 million population of the PNG. All may not be directly relevant to your product. Or even if 8 million are there, that is what one size does not fit all. That is what the concept we look for, where when you take a certain aspect, when you look at market analysis, what are different groups of a market, or segmentation means based on certain nature, you have to divide the market into different groups like male customers and female customers, child and adult and age-old people in the market, or rural customers and urban customers likewise. And once you identify certain segments, in each segment who is liking or who is interested to purchase your product, that is what you can look at marketing research. Once you make your marketing research, you can understand what is the type of market, what is the income level, what is the nature of the product, what is the nature of the people, what are the competitors, who are the competitors, and what are the benefits or what are the nature of the products by competitors and how can compete. These all things come in the marketing research. and sales forecasting. Once you understand market, target market, and understanding the competitors and all, you can look at how much sales we can make in a year or in a particular period, whatever it is. Then marketing mix. This is normally called as 4 P's of marketing. The combination of product, right? You need to understand what is your product, this differentiation, how your product is different from the existing products or existing competitors' products, and pricing, how you need to make a price properly. So there may be 20 different strategies for pricing. Which pricing strategy is very suitable for your product? And how will you promote your products? Promotion strategies. And place, how do you make these products available in different places, and how it is reaching the customers on time? And finally, that is distribution activities. This is added later. That is 4 P's plus distribution activities. How would you make the products smoothly distributed and flowing to the customer? What means you are going to use for the distribution success? Core marketing activities for small business: market analysis to identify target market, marketing mix. Then market analysis, you can see marketing research, market segmentation, sales forecasting, what we have discussed so far. And marketing mix constitute distribution, promotion, pricing, and product. Marketing philosophies make a difference. Different strategies were there, philosophies were there. In the beginning, the companies were looking at only product and their good product, and produce more and throw on the face of the customers, because those days no competition at all. Product oriented emphasizes development of product and production efficiencies over other activities. That means you have to innovate a new product, a particular product, and you produce large quantities and sell in the market, because those were the days where no competition or much competition was not there. But later things were changed and philosophy also modified. Sales oriented, so favors product sales over production efficiencies and customer preferences. So the first one, product orientation, which was in the beginning days of automobile boom in America, where Ford Motors and other motors, they just gone on mass production, produce more, definitely people will buy. But coming to the other level, some competition increased, so everybody is not buying everything, so the things are changed. So sales oriented, how to make more sales. Don't look at only production efficiency, producing more, how to produce more, that has been given up, and the company is looking at product sales, how to make more sales. Then consumer oriented, third level, where many competitors entering and different strategies and different developments are happening in the manufacturing sector, and different sophisticated machinery and equipment is there, and so many competitors are entering, so many people are producing. Then people are looking at how to attract more consumers, at consumer oriented philosophy. All marketing efforts begin and end with the customer. So earlier in the first phase, in the basic introductory level, where only their product or production was very, very for what we call targeted. But while coming here, in this place, consumer is least preferred, because there is no option for the consumer. You say, for example, 40 years ago, only 2 soaps were available in the most of the countries. So one is for rich people who can pay more, and so another is for poor people who cannot be paying more. But now you can see hundreds of brands and hundreds of different varieties across the world. So coming to the third level, consumer oriented, all marketing efforts began and end with consumer, because customer need to be given preference. Focuses on the consumers needs. So what consumer needs, they need to produce. But of course now the latest trend is different. I will tell you later what is that. This philosophy is the most consistent with long-term success of the firms. But coming to the situation today, consumer orientation also changed. Then now the companies are very intelligently looking at, you create a need and supply the product. So they are adding so many features for the products which were not demanded by the consumer, but people are becoming crazy after those features of the product have been seen. A simple example, the basic mobile phone in 1990s only to have some keypad with the numbers and where you can dial the numbers and you can get connected. But later on what is happening? Android came and touch screens came, and later on one camera came, two cameras came, now 6 camera mobile. Who is crying about cameras now? But they are adding crazy features and where consumers are chasing the products. This is a different philosophy today. Why firms fail to adopt a consumer orientation? That is the state of competition. With no competitor on high demand, firms focus on production. So this is the first level where we have discussed. But competition is very high, the things will be different. Production focus of small business managers. What is the focus for the small business manager? Small business manager tend to have strong production skills and weak marketing skills, because they may have an innovative product. They may have a very excellent product, but their capabilities, capital availability and various other things, they are limited to make good marketing skills. Whereas MNCs, you can see, they pour millions and billions on advertising and marketing because they have the muscle power, capital power. So small businesses definitely will have a good product, but they may be failing in the marketing in competing with the large scale organizations. Focus on the present market position. What is the present market position that is to be taken? Small business managers tend to focus on current success, which is the result of an overemphasis on selling. So they make, because any small businessman or business owner will look at selling more and more. There they can make a success as long as they are making more sales. The nature of marketing research. Coming to the marketing research, what is the nature? The gathering, marketing research includes, but not limited to this one, includes the gathering, that means information gathering, processing that information, preparing report, that is reporting, and interpreting of market information. What marketing, in the marketing research, you need to look at various aspects and various parameters, and you have to collect the data, gathering the data related to the market, and then process and report and interpret the market information. Where you can see in your research unit, you must have remember there is secondary data and primary data. The secondary data, market information that has been previously compiled by others. For example, Retailers Association of USA data, that reports may be there. BPNG reports are there. Why Ernst and Young reports will be there. Deloitte reports will be there. Likewise, any such organizations reports you can look at. That is all secondary data. Then primary data you are going to collect. New market information that is gathered by the firm conducting the research. You are collecting, or the particular firm collect. The nature of marketing research. Steps in the marketing research process. What are the steps? The first step is identifying the informational needs. What information, what type of information you require. For example, you wanted to produce a new product for farmers, which helps them very easy to make a weed out, and very easy to what we call help in the pesticide spraying, etc., for example. So what is the information required? You require how many farmers are there, how much hectares, how many hectares of land is under cultivation, what type of crops they are growing, which type of crops this machine is suitable. This all information you require. How many farmers are there, how many farming families are there, how many can affordable for this product. This all identifying the information needs. What kind of information you needed? Why do we need to know this? Because when you know what kind of information you need, then you can collect that appropriate information. Suppose I want to collect the information from satisfaction of bank customers, especially with a credit card, for example. Then I need to I need to know what data I require, information related to what is credit card business in PNG, how many different credit cards are available in the country, right? For whom these credit cards are issued, and how many credit card users are there in the country. This is the basic information I require. That is what I can correctly understand what is the nature of the credit card users if I get this data. Searching for secondary data, you can search in the, today it is unlimited data available in the websites and internet. Who has researched this topic already, right? Previously anybody is done. Collecting primary data, you prepare a questionnaire or schedule or whatever the interview protocol, whatever it is, you go to the required organizations or people and you collect the data. Interpreting the data. Once you collect the data, you must tabulate the data. You must make the data tabulated properly, and you have to interpret this data to get the information. Now what does it mean? That means when you collect the data, what is the nature of this particular information what you are analyzing? That is interpretation. Suppose in this previous case, interpretation, how to interpret. Suppose for example you have collected data from 10,000 people in the country on the income levels and spending related, for example. So income level in the sense you may have different levels of income in the people. Then you may have a particular bracket. So income per fortnight, 200 less than 200 kina, 200 to 500 kina, 500 to 1000 kina. Likewise, you may have different things. So then you can analyze in 10,000 people from whom you have collected data, how many belongs to less than 200, how many in the more than 1000 kina income, so that you can look at specific people where you can concentrate on analyzing. So methods of collecting primary data. There are different methods we can find. Observational methods, you can observe. By observation, we can collect the data like human observation, like you just see with your eyes and come to a conclusion and record the information, or mechanical in the sense you can use cameras and record them. Questioning method, you may have survey method, mail survey, or now you can see internet based survey methods, surveys and telephone survey. Personal interviews, you can sit with them and you can make some interview. Sometimes experiments, you can suppose for example some detergent powder company used to supply 50 grams for each respondent, and they used to ask the households, you use this powder and fill this form. They give some form with some questions. Then this is kind of experiment. When they use, how do they feel? That is what test marketing like. Then next comes with the understanding of potential target markets. What is market? A group of customers or potential customers who have purchasing power and unsatisfied needs. This is very important. They are ready to buy, but the currently products available in the market are not satisfactory for them. That means you may have to introduce a new product where these unsatisfied people with unsatisfied needs will come and purchase your product. Focus strategy, a type of competitive strategy in which cost and marketing strategies are achieved within a narrow market segmentation. So you can focus on only specific group of people and you can collect information and you can find the related information and understand the market pulse. Market segmentation, the division of a market into several smaller groups with similar needs. So you may look at, suppose you are doing research on different types of pens you are producing, where you are producing 3 different types of products, what pens, we can come with that example later on. So you may look at different, you may have a grouping of the population into different based on their nature, their demography or income, whatever it is, socio-economic background. Then you look at what are the characteristics of this particular person, this particular group. Ingredients of a market. Ingredient 1, customers, people or businesses. Ingredient 2, purchasing power, money or credit. Ingredient 3, unsatisfied needs. This is very important one. This third one is very, very important one. Market segmentation variables. So how do we make segmentation, market segmentation? On what basis we do that? The parameters used to distinguish one form of market behavior from another for the purpose of market segmentation is called segmentation variables. So benefit variables, where specific characteristics that distinguish market segments according to the benefit sought. Demographic variables, again rural, urban likewise. Specific characteristics that describe customers and their purchasing power. Sometimes you can find unsegmented market strategy. We do not differentiate the different people. We do not have any grouping or a classification of the market, entire market. A strategy that defines the total market as the target market. So we do not look at this one, that one, right? We make a mass market. Multi-segmented strategy. A strategy that recognizes different preferences of individual market segments and develops a unique marketing mix for each. For example, for certain apparels, right? For you may have a male, female. You may have male, female. Again, in the male, female, urban male, urban female, semi-urban male, semi-urban female, rural male and rural female. So based on which segment you are looking. Suppose you may prepare some classical dressing or apparels for urban males and females. Again, in the males and females, again employees, executives and non-executives like. You may have your own method of classifying the market. Multi-segmented strategy. Multiple segments. Single segmentation strategy. A strategy that recognizes the existence of several distinct segments but focuses on only the most profitable segment. Suppose you are producing executive clothing, you may be looking at only officers and officials of the manager level and more or higher levels of the employees in banks and private and public sector organizations. This is an example what I am quoting earlier. An unsegmented market where small business, community writing company, for example, company name, marketing mix 1, product, lead pencil, only pencil, price 79 cents, right? Promotion, television, distribution, extensive. Market, all potential users of a writing instrument. Where whatever the person, whoever the person want some writing equipment, they need a pencil. That is what target, that's all. We are not targeting any specific person. Then again, another way of multi-segmentation. Marketing mix 2, marketing mix 1 and 3. So here the company is producing three different type of pens or three different quality pens. The first one is felt tip, $1 $1. Promotion, professional magazines, distribution direct from factory. They do not want to make any other party, third party in the marketing channels. Then marketing mix 1, product felt tip pen. It is when you compare with this one, cheaper, 49 cents. Campus newspapers and distribution, bookstores, many bookstores and tuck shops. Normally bookshops and tuck shops they use for selling this product because it is targeted on students. See, the students are targeted for this one. So school students and university students, anything or any institutional students, they can look at, because that is a large number. And third one is see gold fountain pen. This is a fountain pen, not the ballpoint pen. This is only targeting the different class where they can afford to pay $50 a pen. Personal selling, department stores, there is no such availability in the small shops, because department store or sometimes airport duty free shops, etc. So different segment, the company is same company, but they are producing 3 different products, A, B, C. Then each product is looking at a specific people. See, teachers and professors, this pen is for students exclusive. This pen is for executives who are able to afford for this product. This is what the way multiple segmentation is working out. And sometimes single segmentation, small business where felt tip pen 49 cents, campus newspaper, bookstores, and this time you can look at anyone can buy, right? You can see these 3 different consumers, but you are mass marketing, like you are making a mass marketing, you are making a product available for all the customers irrespective of their affordability. So estimating market potential, the sales forecast, that is what how much you can sell in the future or in the particular period what you are chosen, right? A prediction of how much in units or dollars of a product or service will be purchased within a market during a specified period of time, per a month or per a week or per a year, in a quarter, whatever the way you can choose. An essential component of business plan that assesses the new venture's feasibility, because when you are expecting certain level of sales for your product, that determines whether your company going to be successful or feasible or not. It assists in planning for product scheduling, setting inventory levels and personnel decisions. These all can be understood based on how much you can sell. Dimensions of forecasting difficulty. There are certain important points to be taken into consideration. Forecasting in sense, estimating your future sales. Conditions that make a forecasting easier and difficult. So in the easier established business, suppose your business is established, there is no big issue to estimate the sales in the future. Experienced entrepreneur or manager. If you are entrepreneur or manager is experienced, there is no problem. Entrepreneur familiar with the forecasting techniques, if the person is familiar. If it is new venture, knowing future market is not that easy. Limited entrepreneurial or managerial skills, as a very limited experience, if person got, it is also problem. Poor understanding of forecasting techniques, if the person does not understand forecasting techniques properly. The forecasting process, the starting point, breakdown process, chain ratio method, where forecasting begins with a macro level variable and works down to the sales forecast, top to down. That means when you look at a particular product, suppose you wanted to produce a new product, new soap in the country, if you want to know the demand, first you need to understand in the country how many types of soaps are available, how many are produced within the country, how many we are importing, what is the volume of imported soaps and soaps manufactured within the country, per annum how many soaps are sold in the country, right? So what is the price, and if you start, how can you produce a different soap when compared to the existing soaps in the country? If you are producing different soap, what is the total demand for the country? Suppose a million units 1 month, for example, million units a month. Then in million units, suppose 50% is produced within the country, 500,000 coming from different places, or just million units are demanded, but only 600,000 is available, for example. Then you can look at 400,000 scope you have to produce. So this way you can understand top-down approach. Build-up process. All potential buyers in various submarkets are identified, and then the estimated demand is added up. That is what bottom up. You are going to directly going to the customers, and customer level you are understanding, and you are forecasting for the total market. The forecasting process, two dimension of forecasting, right? The predicting variable, direct forecasting, the use of sales as the predicting variable. Indirect forecasting, variables related to sales are used as proxies to project future sales. For example, here you can take consumer product, soap example. But here, while coming here, if suppose I wanted to know demand for cement in the country, then I need to know, I can estimate how much housing is happening, how many houses are demanded, how many houses are constructed every year. So if this is continued for next 10 years, the same rate, every year 100,000 houses are built across the country, for example. Based on 100,000 houses, I can estimate my demand. So housing is influencing demand for my cement. So I need to understand demand for housing, then I can calculate demand for the cement. If demand for housing is coming down, demand for cement also will be coming down. That is what the relation you have to take it. Suppose I am producing a socks, for example, the shoe socks. I am planning to produce the socks. Then I need to estimate how many shoes are sold in the country, based on which you can produce the socks. This is what the relevance of the end users and demand indirect forecasting. Sales forecasting with the breakdown method. So this is one example taken up, right? So here, this is one variable. This is a list of variables. This is source of information where we are getting estimating value, then potential customers. Here, Idaho state population. They wanted to know sales forecasting with the breakdown method. They have taken Idaho state population, right? US census of population is the basis for the information of source. Then 100% is the value. Then what is the population? 1 million population. Then state population in target age category. We are looking at a particular age group for whom we are going to produce a new product. So sales marketing management survey of buying power. How many people does have buying power? That is being surveyed by the sales and marketing management team. Then they identified 12% is the identified people of target category. That means these people can buy the product. So 12% of 1 million, 120,000. Then in 120,000, we need to know ultimately how many people buy our product. Target age enrolled in college only. So this is for this case study, this method is, this particular example is looking at the pens, previous example we have taken. Target age enrolled in the colleges and universities, that is what's becoming school students. This is Idaho Department of Education is the information source. 30% of this amount, 30% of this population is enrolling. 30% of 120,000, 36,000 is about to enroll. Then we are targeting a particular group of age group of people. Target age college students preferring inconvenience over price. So our pen is very convenient when you look at the other products and comparing other products. So students survey in marketing research, we did a survey for the students. Then in this 36,000, 50% said convenience is okay for us. That means availability near to them. 50% means 18,000. Then convenience oriented students likely to purchase new felt tip pen within next month. So how many are planning to buy? How many of this, right? How many among these 18,000 are willing to buy the felt tip pen next month? So 75% accepted, okay, we are ready to buy. So 70% means 13,500 people are ready to buy. People who say they are likely to purchase, but when they say 13,500, they say I want to buy, but it is not necessary that everybody will be buying. So they have how many actually buy, right? 35% actually said buy, that is a consumer research revealed. So 35% of this 13,500, right? 4,725 are really bought. Average number of pens bought per year, how many they will buy, they are buying on average. So personal experience of entrepreneur, they found that on an average every person who is ready to buy is buying 4 pens in a year. That means total demand per year is 18,900 pens. This is what the way you started with total population of the state, you gone to the people who are actually buying, and when you are buying, how many of this, how many pens are bought by these people. So this amount, this number times this will give you this amount. So this is what the way of breakdown method to understand the market potential. Market analysis, customer profile, a description of potential customers in a target market. What is the potential of the, what is the profile of the customer? That means their economic status and buying power and interest on the product, etc. Sales forecasts, most likely pessimistic and optimistic. Most likely means most likely how much they can buy. Pessimistic in the sense, if our product is not so preferred, how much we can make. Optimistic means everybody is liking our product, how many we can sell. The competition, profit of key management personnel, profile of key management personnel. The competition in the sense how, what kind of people are around us and how they are making the things and how competitors are doing the things. Overall strengths and weaknesses of our product, our company and our marketing personnel. Related products being marketed or tested. The likelihood of competitors entry into target market. So we are looking at a particular target or a particular group of customers, there no competition is there, but we need to make some guesswork of how much competition may be faced by us in the future. The formal marketing plan, marketing strategy, total product or service plan, decision affecting the total product, distribution plan, decisions regarding product delivery to customers, pricing plan, stating an acceptable value on the product, promotional plan, how do you promote your product, communicating information to the target market. This is something about marketing plan. I can add some questions later on the Moodle linked to this question, right? Thank you.